are back with another live video. Give me 1 sec to get set up here. I actually started this video on time for once. Holy bejesus, there is a God, there is a miracle out there. So we are gonna... Oh boy, here we go. And my computer is being, of course, as wonderfully... being as wonderfully cooperative as it always is. But yes, so we are doing some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. We're going to both do a model review. It's an older model, but we're going to do a little build, and then we'll do a little paint. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to get some more glue, so let me get this moving forward. I got my whole setup here now. I'm so pleased that I have all my tools at my disposal. So I'm gonna get these here, and I have more room to work, which is so cool. But yeah, so we're going to continue doing some model reviews of the Marvel Crisis Protocol Spider-Man and Ghost Spider model kit, and we also have the Ghost Rider model that we had started painting. This will be our part 2 on that painting model. I'm getting all nasally again. I don't know why. Jesus. Alright, and as you guys can see, we're going to jump right into it. And as always, I like to just shout out my sponsor for these videos, Undiscovered Realms. You guys can check out a link to them below. They are awesome guys. They are the local shop that I get all my hobbying and support from. Please, please give them love. Check out their website. They ship anywhere in the United States. They got Funko. They got Magic the Gathering. They got other tabletop games. They have tons of Marvel Crisis Protocol. They have tons of Games Workshop stuff. So please check them out. Star Wars Legion. So a lot of the big games out there, they got them. And take a look, see what they're all about. And please support, because they're nice enough to hook me up and get me going. So, thank you guys. So, without further ado, let's jump in and take a look. So, this kit would cost you normally $35. And this kit's going to come with 2 characters. I apologize for my nose being clogged again. But you can see here Spider-Man and Ghost Spider. And this is, of course, Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy as Ghost Spider. So, this is great if you had gotten the starter set for Marvel Crisis Protocol, because you are getting a different Spider-Man in this. And obviously, you can now create a Spider-centric team for that. And normally, most of the Marvel Crisis Protocol packs are 2 characters for the price of about $30. You only need about 4 characters to do a force for the game. And we're going to do a little review. We're going to take a look at what's in the box. We're going to do a little building of them. And then we're going to jump into our Ghost Rider paint. Now, typically, every one of these kits is going to come with cards, tokens for the characters. We will have our sprues and our characters in there. And then, of course, an assembly guide. What I like is they do a piece of cardboard in there to make sure that your models don't get damaged in transport, which is always nice. So they package them real well. And what I really like about these is the assembly guide is super easy. I mean, you guys can see it's like 4 pieces for each model. And that's it. So already I'm loving this assembly guide. Oh, you're going to see my hairy arm, guys. I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave the model to the side for now. And we're going to take a little look at some of the abilities and stuff. So, as I was saying before, We have the ability cards for the characters. We'll have some other cards, and then we usually have their tokens. And the tokens will be specific to the characters usually. What they can also do a lot of the times, they can be activations for the characters as well. And I'm just realizing I can now combine these and these so I don't lose track of all this stuff from the last time I did an unboxing. But yeah, so we'll take a look at their cards first. So Web Warriors, which is the category that they are for theme team purposes. And really all that's on here is Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Peter, Ghost Fighter, and Venom. So going back to what I said, this is a theme team for the game. So if you want to have that faction. Now, why would you want to have Web Warriors? Well, it's for these cards. There are affiliation cards, and that affiliation lets you use these special ability cards. And you can see what they are. So I'm going to hold those up on the screen. But Web Warriors, a Web Warrior character may spend 3 power to play this card. Each enemy character within 3 of the character that played this card suffers the slow special condition when an allied Web Warrior character attacking and character suffers the slow special condition this round. Add 2 dice to the attack roll. So it's kind of cool. It slows everybody down, and then you get to make more attacks on them because they're like webbed up, because you're webbing people. Web Barrier. This probably gonna fall again. Web Barrier, Web Warrior, 2 Web Warrior characters. You guys may spend 1 power to play this card. While these characters are within 3 of each other this round, they cannot be pushed, thrown, or placed by enemy effects. And while enemy characters cannot be placed. Okay. Yeah, so basically it locks down that characters can't be placed between them. They cannot be moved by those characters unless they have climb, which is pretty cool. So it's a positioning. It kind of keeps things on the up and up. All you've got, which is unaffiliated, which means anybody can use this, so you don't have to be in that affiliation to have that power. When a character with the threat level of 6 or less would gain an activated token at the end of its activation, they may spend 4 power to play this card. They do not gain activated token. Your turn does not end, and you must activate that character again at the end of this character's second activation. If they are healthy, they gain a daze token. If they're injured, they are KO'd. So there's kind of a cool way to have like a double turn or a double activation with characters. It's kind of cool. And then you get a scenario, which is portals, overrun city with spider people, which, if you don't know where this is from, this is actually from the Spider-Verse miniseries. So it's place 4, entering portals, target of opponent as indicated on map D. Players score 1 victory point for each portal they control during the cleanup phase. Interact with portals. Roll a die equal to the interacting character's defense. If the roll contains more regular successes or wild cards and critical results than the number of healthy contesting enemy characters, the interacting character controlling player now controls the portal. If the roll contains at least 1 skull, the unit character is placed within 2 of its current position. The opposing player resolves this placement. So basically, you get kicked out of the portal if you roll skull. Interesting scenario. I like it. So again, the scenarios for, again, the people that are looking, that scenario is what you actually put on the field so you can score victory points. Because Marvel Crisis Protocol is a game where you play rounds You're trying to score more victory points than your player. Now, this is a typical character card. They are two-sided. You got to knock them down to the... That's the injured side. This is the healthy side. And we get a little look. So, health. He's got 5 health because he's kind of a regular human. His movement is medium. His height is 2, which is in line with most humanoid, regular human characters. Height plays a big role in this game. He costs you 3, so going back to that scenario was an 18 level threat. So I would have to pick up to 18 threat level for that for characters. So going back to what I said before, that's why you're going to have about 4 or 5 characters per faction or per group. Venom is a little bit more because he's a bigger character. He's got more health. He's got... So Miles has even attacks, whether it be physical, blast, or psychic. Webline kick. Doesn't cost me power to use it. And after this attack resolves, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt. Throw, if this target character is size 3 or less before damage is dealt, you may throw the target character away a small. So not only do you get to hit him, you get to throw him away from you. So it's a good positional. That's if you roll a wild card. After the attack is resolved, so this is Venom Blast. The target character drops all objective tokens they are holding. So that's very good for a lot of different scenarios. It's also a very hefty attack. You're going to roll 7 dice to hit on that, which is amazing. Great responsibility. Affiliation Web Warriors. Allied characters may re-roll 1 defense die. Additionally, they may modify any re-roll skull result while they are holding or contesting an objective token. So they can actually... They may modify and re-roll. So if you get skulls, you can re-roll it, which is really good. Spidey Sense, when this character is defending against a physical attack or a blast attack or making a dodge roll, it may re-roll 2 of its defense or dodge dice. Very cool. Stealth character must be within 3 of this character. So, okay, so he's got... And these are all constant. They go on all the time. So he literally can't be hit unless you're right next to him. And then Wall Crawler means that he has the ability to just crawl up anything. He doesn't get hindered. Yeah, so as you can see... Yeah, his attacks do not change when he gets injured. For some characters, their attacks will change. Sometimes their attributes will change. He stays the same. So again, between the healthy and injured side... It's 5 and 5, so. And then we got Gwen. Now, Gwen can move along. She's faster than Miles is. Spider Technique. That's a 0 power attack for her, which is pretty cool. After this attack resolves, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt. If this character has already attacked the target character during its activation this turn, add 3 dice to this attack roll. So if you do double attacks on people, she gets to hit you more. If this character has advanced or been placed during its activation this turn, after this attack is resolved, it may advance. So you get to attack and move. Ooh, she's really good. I will definitely be using her on my force because she's nuts. She's very fast. And she's still got a very decent health. Again, very even attack. Impact Webbing. After this attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power. If you roll a wild, you get to push the character. If the target character is size 2 or less before damage is dealt, this character may be pushed a small way. Freestyle Beatdown. If this attack deals damage and the target character is size 3 or less, after that this also, but you can see you get to roll more attack dice, but it's a 3 power attack versus a 0 power attack. Webline, push an enemy character within 4 and in line of sight towards the character small. The character can be pushed by this superpower only once per turn. So that's cool. You can bring him in and then hit him with something else. Or you can use her as a setup and grab an activated character that's already been activated, get them over close so you can start beating them up because they can't fight back. Lifesaver: when an enemy character targets another allied character with an attack within this character's line of sight, and 4, you may use this superpower. Push the targeted allied character towards this character small. If at the end of the push the target character is outside of the attack's range or the attack's line of sight, the attack ends. So that's pretty cool. You could actually pull people away to dodge an attack. If this attacker's activation and the attack did not target multiple characters, they may make another action. This super can only be used once per turn, and she got Wall Crawler as well. And again, none of her powers change when we flip over. So I like the spider characters. I definitely will try a spider team. I think having a spider team would be really, really cool. All right, without further ado, let's get into the minis. Sorry, guys. I may have to just excuse myself to blow my nose. Now, usually I do jump and try to grab the assembly guide, but the nice thing about these models, and you'll see, they're so nicely put on the sprue that I don't really need one for this Spider-Man. Like, it is pretty self-explanatory where the parts go. So it's very rare that I do this, but with Marvel Crisis Protocol figures, I don't really have to, most of the time. Most of the time I can just go for it, just pop them out. And then what I love about them is that they give you these nice sculpted bases. So if you're doing modern terrain stuff, they always give you extras of these, and they're always a lot of fun. They also give you like little debris, like garbage to put on the base, so you get theme and check it out. But look at how awesome that is. Look at how nice and sculpted that is. Like, seriously, what else do you need in a model when that's what you get? Like, it's pretty cool. Oop. And then going back to the sculptors who sculpt these models for them, like, look at that detail. Probably gonna have to change out my glue. Although it's been kind of, and what I love about their models is that you will not get stumped. Because the legs, like, so when you're gluing this together, you cannot put the wrong... I'm doing a terrible job of keeping this in. Sorry, guys. Oh, wow. This is not focusing at all. Alright. So, and I did it. I already did it. Wow, I'm doing a horrible job. Sorry, guys. Sorry. What I was going to say is that man, you can't put these in the wrong. Now, most of this is my fault because I'm being stupid. All right, let me look at the... I'm going to actually have to look at the build instructions, which I didn't think I was going to have to do, but... Yeah, I've already successfully messed this up because I'm already gluing myself to the model. I should have got my tweezers out. All right. Sorry, guys. I know I always do this. I always feel like I end up doing this on my streams because... And this was honestly one of the reasons I was going to stop building models live. Yeah, I thought the Spider-Man would be an easier model, but it's not because what... There we go. What makes it kind of hard is that Alright, so what I've done successfully... Alright, let me just stick that here. Alright, so I think we got it. It's like super, super hard to do this. He's not a hard model, but at the same time... Alright, I just want to... Alright, sorry guys. I know I'm Yeah, what you couldn't see me doing is that I actually filed. I just like went and filed it a little bit so that when it dries, that glue doesn't... Let's get... And there it is. Okay, so we're going to have a tough day today with models because that just did that. Yeah, I can't. I have to learn about the focusing, and that's why you guys are seeing problems with the focusing on my videos. I keep putting stuff on top of my videos, so... Now, it's a little hard to see on the top of here, but you can see that the hand is actually in there. Wait until you guys see how dynamic and cool this is. And this is what I mean by... like super blowing the competition away with like dynamic posing. All right, sorry guys. So what happened while we were... I'm going to leave that off camera for right now. Yeah, I might not do that. Then you know what? I was originally going to do, but it doesn't make much sense from like a standpoint of, oh my god, I'm like super cursed today. I really am. I don't know what it is. I moved to this painting station and like I got to get the arm for my camera so I can get my camera like elevated over me. Because I think that's why a lot of the videos, like, I look like I'm bumbling. Because I'm, like, using a weird angle now. There we go. Very, very cool. I love the action pose on this model. Like, it is super cool, super awesome. All right, let's take a stab at Gwen, and then we'll jump into some painting. Although I may have to change my painting target because, unfortunately, I just had an issue where my Ghostwriter just fell off its perch, and now I gotta wait until the glue dries. So I may or may not be able to do Ghostwriter painting. I know I put that in the description of this video. But I really would love for you guys to jump on and say hi with us, because it's funny, I finally like did it at the right time, and I don't have anybody sitting with me, so it's crazy. You guys watch my videos when I'm not on, but you like don't watch them live, and that's really like we got to get those live views up. So if there's anybody out there who is watching and you know, loves our content, loves our channel, like, start a watch party, share that out right now, get some people on the horn. Because that viewership, if I can get you guys, if I can get many people watching me, that's how I'm gonna get to the next level and get things moving in that direction. Now, sometimes they'll do alternative heads and stuff. This particular model, they're not. And what's pretty cool about this character, so again, I love the fact that they have bits in there. They always have, the other thing I love about Marvel Crisis Protocol is that you'll see, and we saw it in that Spider-Man model already, but when we get to like the arms and we get, I'm going to just get this out of the way so it stops focusing on stuff behind it. When we get the arms and stuff, so you'll see, like, even with the legs, everything has its own joints, and they slightly vary the joints so you don't put the wrong arm. There's no way to put the wrong arm in the wrong spot. Like, it all fits perfectly. And I just love that as a model company, that they're being conscious of that when they're creating their sculpts. So like I said, there is you can't put the wrong arm on the wrong side. Like, it's only going to fit in the arm, the socket that it's specifically for. Which I think is brilliant. What I'm doing now. Alright, so what's happening here is I'm finding the angle, or at least the angle that it's supposed to be. So you guys could see, there was like no way. You can't even get the positioning wrong. Like, they make these models with such precision. And what I also love, that they do an excellent job with, I know I'm doing such a bad job. So you'll see, like, there was no way I could put that in the wrong way. When I tried to, wouldn't fit. But what they also do very well is they use the seams of the costumes to hide the actual seams. So you don't have a lot of seaming issues, or like I've noticed when I do these models, I don't have to do a bunch of green stuff or like other things, because they stay together pretty well. And you can see I lived up to my promise on that one. I did not use the build instructions at all to build it. And you can see just how much presence and nice. Oh, so cool. You guys can see there's Gwen, or Ghost Spider. Oh, I love that. I love the action. The amount of action on these models is just unreal. They did such a nice job with them. So that's going to be Spider-Man and Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Gwen. Looking awesome as always. And now at this point, I think Ghost Rider has rejoined the base, so we can paint this guy up. So I did come through. I did make the stream happen. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. I'm gonna put that over this way. I don't need this, so this can go back into my bag of tricks. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get to painting some Ghost Rider. So I had started painting this figure. I'm gonna use this wacky starter brush, which is this weird synthetic brush that they gave me in the Jido. You know what? I'm just gonna move. There we go. I think that's gonna solve some of my problems, so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. All right. Nah, we need Lev Belcher for this baby. He's Ghost Rider. His bike. I don't even have to play around with the bike. I know for the bike that I want to go a certain route with it. So I'm just gonna embrace that and go right for it automatically. I mean, because it's a classic motorcycle, so I already know we're going to be doing silver on that. I really need to get myself a wet palette. That's what we're going to start to... I'm going to start to invest in. I think that's the next, like, big... Let's just get all... I mean, I'm going to have to do some other work to it. But it's a motorcycle. It's going to have chrome on it. Those chains have to be chrome. Like, all of this has to be chrome. There's no question about it. I was going to do all of this in chrome. Again, I'm going to do some other effects to it to make it look a little bit more interesting, so it just doesn't look like straight chrome. And at least for me, I mean, like, There's a lot of chrome pieces to this bike. Yeah, I'm gonna go to town on this bike. Like, obviously I'm gonna do all these like exhaust pipes and like everything else. This is all gonna be chrome. But I'm gonna do some washes on top of this stuff. But I mean, it is Ghost Rider, and I mean, when Ghost Rider like had his motorcycle, it was. It did have like silver, like it did essentially look like a modern day motorcycle. Just but I have some tricks up my sleeve. And I'm actually doing one of them right now, which is, you notice I watered down the lead belcher a lot. When you do it this way, what it does is it creates like more of a wash rather than like it creates it more as a wash rather than a pigment color. So it sort of starts doing what the rest of the contrast paints that I'm going to be using does. So you start to see that variation that it creates. And then what you can do is you can hike it back. All I'm doing is just lightly going over this. You'd be surprised what a loaded brush and just light going over stuff like chains will do for you. Because this chain piece is very, very, very fragile. Like, if I had to give this model one criticism, whereas like the Spiderman and the Ghost Spider models, they were very like solid. The Ghost Rider model, it's a little on the fragile side. Like, you know, it's great payoff because the effect of the chain and the action is great. But you do lose a little. You do lose a little bit of stability because it's not a very stable model. So you do lose a little of that stability because of the model. You know, so like one of the things that's a little annoying when I'm painting this is exactly what I'm experiencing now, which is there's so much elasticity in how they're in that chain that when I'm trying to like lay down the tone on it, it's just bouncing around a lot. And so I mean, you guys maybe you can see it on camera, or maybe you get a sense of it, but I'm like literally just about like I'm being very, very specific with how I bring that color in. And it is not yeah, because the issue is that my brush is not, it doesn't really get on there the way that I want it to. So like I'm not getting the coverage of the color the way that I want to. I am and I'm not. Because the other piece to it is that Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to touch it. But you guys can see it's like bouncing all over the place when I try to paint it. And the reason why I always get nervous when models do that is because I don't want it to bounce and my brush to get unsteady. And then I end up putting silver on a piece of the model. So I'm trying to basically just use my hand as like a footer. Because it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't even matter if I saturate the brush. It's still... It's still not... But normally when you're doing like this kind of work, you could just load up your silver and it'll just go on the chain that you're painting. Whereas in this case, it's very, very flimsy. So yeah, it's not the greatest. But that actually went on pretty well. And again, I'm going to put a wash on these chains. But you can see, just like if you water down the lead belcher, it makes just a really nice finish to that. And like I said, this is being a... being a more traditional motorcycle, I am trying to get, you know, I'm looking at it and like looking at that chrome work and saying like where do we have chrome? Where does the bike have the chrome? Like details. Like where can I go to get all that? So what I'm doing now is I'm just going in and looking at like what makes sense to paint with the silver, what doesn't make sense. So I'm just looking, and sometimes when I do stuff like this, you know, normally, and I've talked to you guys about this a couple of times, you know, normally I'll use, you know, you guys will see me use like referencing and stuff like that. And I'll use like the company's paint style just as a guideline, and then I sort of take the paint. So what you're seeing me do now is I'm just working on all of that pipe work and just trying to figure out where do I want, like I said before, that silver. Because in the comic book, you know, he's got a traditional motorcycle. So I'm just trying to get some of this detail in there. Yeah, so I'm just connecting those bits just so we get some of that silver in there, and then like I said, I can figure out from there what on the bike should be silver, what on the bike shouldn't be silver. Now, if I'm not mistaken, his pants are also black. I think Ghost Rider is where he wears all black. There might have been versions with him where he had like a little bit different pants, but I think for the most part he wears all black. Sorry, guys. There was a fly in the room that I had to hit. God, why? All right. I don't know. Some people do them with like dirty. Let me see. Okay, you can have like brown pants. All right. I'm gonna start off with these. It's probably gonna be too light, but knowing my luck. I'm being messy. I hate when I'm being messy. Right, so I'm using Skeleton Horde on the pants because when I looked at some painting samples online of this model, I noticed people kind of gave him brownish pants, which I always was under the impression that he was all black, but I guess I was mistaken on that. But I'm gonna have to darken those. I just went for a lighter tone right now, just to play with the color scheme and see. Boots are black. That's black. Belt's black. So we're going for a lot more black on there. Yeah, you guys are going to see where we're going to go with this. And it's going to be a lot of fun once we get there. But we can go a little bit. We can go a little bit deeper with some stuff. And some of that's my fault because when I first painted him, not that I wasn't familiar with Ghost Rider, but the reality is it's been a while since like I looked at traditional Ghost Rider. You know, like nowadays you have, you know, because in the recent years of Ghost Rider, you know, you've had, well, first off, now we have a whole nother version of the character because Ghost, it's not Johnny Blaze, it's not the original Ghost Rider anymore. It's a newer generation of someone who has taken up the mantle of Ghost Rider. Well, not, I shouldn't say mantle. Has been recursed as Ghost Rider. Because you don't take up a mantle of Ghost Rider, you get cursed to be Ghost Rider, which is how that works out. Because what people forget about Ghost Rider all the time is that Ghost Rider, he is in fact the spirit of vengeance, which is employed by the devil. He is not, you know, Ghost Rider is not, he's not 100% a hero. He is an anti-hero because he does not do things always in the most heroic way. Because part of his MO, of course, is to get to burn the soul of sinners, which is why, you know, and that's what he was created for. That's what he was made for by the devil. He ends up using the power against the devil at many points in the comic book, but he is in fact a he is in fact a character that does not play nice with others and is not what I would consider a hero. Although there are a few stories where he does very much do some very interesting, weird stuff because he's Ghost Rider, you know, and he's part of the mystical side of crap. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know, I was just talking to somebody about this today, but you know, if you have been keeping up with your Marvel movies, or even if you haven't been keeping up with the Marvel movies, but you know, like the lineup or the release of what's coming, you may or may not have seen. You know, we're, as I've called it for a lot of folks, we are now in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's very clear that I think we are starting to get into the realm of, the mystical. So obviously we have a lot of, you know, Doctor Strange centric stories that are coming up, or movies with the Sorcerer Supreme in them. And we've had some Wanda. Well, we had WandaVision, and we had Loki, which this concept of the mystical, or as AKA as Thor might say, as they call it, space magic. So we're starting to have more and more the delving into the mystical. So I'm wondering if we will find Ghost Rider maybe making an appearance or a pop-up in there, because we are vastly approaching some very cool mystical stories. And what's really cool is we're starting to also get essentially characters. So for folks that are not as familiar with the comic books, there are some stories that we will start to get where it's very possible he might come into it, because we've already announced other characters that he would very much in the comic books have partnered with, or oddly enough, he actually, funny for a lot of folks, they might not know this, but he partners with Spiderman. He's actually, Spiderman has been in some cases a very big character for him. He's partnered with Spider-Man on a couple of occasions. There are stories of there are miniseries where we have, of course, Blade, which we know Blade will be making some debuts and some things, because they announced those projects already. So for folks that don't want to be spoiled, sorry. When I paint Marvel minis, we will sometimes delve into the entertainment. Yeah, let's just paint all this silver. We might paint. I usually do talk about like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so I will be talking about, different things that we know, because of course, if you are somebody who is following the MCU, there are a lot of they've announced a lot of different projects and stuff, and that's something they publicly announced, which was a Blade. So they are in fact, we will be seeing Blade returning. So we will have a proper Blade. Now, it will be interesting, and what I am curious about with that particular film, I mean, obviously one of the things I'm extremely curious about is, will they be will they actually have will they have Wesley Snipes actually in the movie? Which would be really cool if they did. But yeah, so it would be interesting if Ghost Rider showed up, because Ghost Rider, that's his wheelhouse. Like, he's usually with those types of characters, which is very interesting. So yeah, we're painting Ghost Rider from Marvel Crisis Protocol. You guys can see where we're at right now. Just kind of having fun with it. We're going to delve a little deeper into its paint job. And we did a little model review of Gwen and Miles. And we built those live on the air. So if you want to, when you're done watching this, go back and watch those. we, you know, totally do that. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll put this like this. I'm gonna make him a little bit more gritty. So I wanted to put that in there. And I'm sort of going, I'm doing a little bit of my own like freestyle on this a little bit. Normally I look at the painting sample from Atomic Mass Games just to kind of see what they did. But I'm going a little bit on my own on this one. To do my own detailing and stuff. You know, I'm gonna do some washes on the metal bits and just do some like cool stuff and cool effects. I'm probably gonna do a lighting effect on this one too. That'll look like the light is coming out of the bottom there. And then what I'm going to start to do, and I'll start doing this I think now just so we can start to have some variation on the flames. I'm going to get this orange. And I may have to retire this orange. I'm trying, oh. It might still have life left in it to do this. I don't know if it will. Let's see. It's still got a little bit of life left in. Yeah, once I do that, then we're going to start to see some real cool, nice effects on here. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to. I think I'm gonna have to probably nab another orange. I have another one. It's just with like all the prices of everything going up and like all of the supply chain stuff. I'm just like really trying to stretch my paints out. So you guys can see what I'm doing is I'm going back over this with the orange and I'm just tracing the insides of that fire to give it a little bit more depth, and you can see just how much that pops once you do that. I don't want to go too crazy. I just want to give like yeah, see that's because like I said, when you start to put that detail in, you guys will see just how much more interesting this is going to all start to look. And then it's going to look like we have that, like, you know, a different, like, just a tonal difference. And again, I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to go like too nuts. I just want to bring a little bit of that color in there so that, you know, it's in there. So you have a little bit more of a layered fire effect. Okay, just a little bit more layered fire. And again, I'm just using the orange on top of that yellow. So because I want it to look like it's again, that like that fire. Most of it is already like done for me, so I don't have to. So you guys are seeing, I'm not going too crazy. I'm just putting a little bit of accent or highlight, not a ton, because most of this is already beautiful, and I don't want to. Now, also, there's another thing about fire that a lot of people forget, and that is that fire has a differentiated color. It goes from dark. It usually goes from dark fire like that into lighter fire. So, really, where you should be seeing a lot more of the red, or not the red, but the orange, is actually closer to where the fire originated. You shouldn't really be seeing it on the ends. So that's why you'll see I'm focusing on like more, but you could already see it's giving that living fire look, and I'm like totally together with that because it just looks really cool, and it's gonna give the model so much more character. And then I gotta figure out what I want to do with the rest of the rest of the motorcycle, which is going to be interesting. I'm just going to give it a little bit of now this is where it gets a little tricky. I don't want to go too crazy with this. I want to have some. I want to have some. Sorry. What do we think, guys? What do we think? I kind of like that, but I will say that what I think is missing now. All right. So what I'm going to have to do. Let me get some water. So I think, I don't know. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go back in and make sure that's all painted. Because right now, one of the issues that I think I'm running into Alright, so I think that looks a lot better. Now, I do think that the overall color scheme is too dark. So I think he does need white is always a trick color for me. Alright, there we go. Now I got it back to white. Yeah, GW whites suck. I've noticed that. Anything that's a white pigment for GW, like that's like a regular white paint, always sucks. Alright, let me just get it. No. Alright, so the white looks horrible. Well, let's see what I got. Sorry guys, hold on. I gotta do repair work now on this damn okay, so now we've run into a snag. Which doesn't happen too often, but I'm in a little bit of a bind now. So here's what I think we're gonna have to do. So yeah, I thought I was doing the right thing by doing some stuff to the model, and I didn't. I actually screwed it up a little bit more beyond belief. So let's see if I can. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see if I can salvage this a little bit. Let's see what I can come up with. Now I basically made flesh tones, so I think this is going to probably make it worse, but let's see. Oh, actually is kind of cool. Yeah. All right, hold on. This actually might not be bad. All right, so I'll show you guys what I did. All right. That actually is not that bad. It's interesting. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. I see you. That's kind of cool. Oh, okay. Now we have a little bit of variation. Oh, okay. So now we have a little bit of variation. Alright, so just so you guys can see, I'm sorry I had to work off camera with that, but now that looks a lot better. Because now we have a little bit of a gradation. But now we're gonna seal the deal with that face, because I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. But that looks a whole heck of a lot better. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're already doing some nice quality upgrades to this. Yeah, that looks a lot better, because then he looks more like that skull, that impending skull. Although you could argue his eyes could be red if he's doing the penance stare, because penance stare he does like now. Now what I wanted to do is get this wash, because, but that looks real good. That, I really like how that looks. I'm digging that. guess they don't have teeth details. I thought they did, but I guess they don't. It's pretty cool, actually. Oh, that wash actually makes those pants look perfect. So I'm gonna just get a little bit more of that. Okay, let's get this brush all ready to go. Yeah, I love Go. As a kid, I loved reading Ghost Rider. As a kid with Marvel Comics, I liked any characters that were based in like the mystical. Okay, all right. I thought I was gonna mess that up. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, that wash is beautiful. It goes so well with how we're doing stuff. This is perfect. All right, just pop that right up there. Nice. All right, nice. Okay, so yeah, I think the person like in the painting sample, yeah, they went very, very basic. I mean, he is a really basic character. He doesn't have too much. Because the traditional Ghost Rider. We're getting into the nitty gritty of it now, guys. Now I'm going back in, just I was gonna do black grips on the bike. I don't know if it has black grips, but I figured it would be cool if it had black grips, and then I'll do that other thing is silver, the brakes on the bike. I'm mesmerized that I'm using this one basic brush for all of this work. I mean, he looks really cool. I mean, it looks good. The model looks good. I got to do a little bit of touch-ups here or there, but I know it's like all. I hate doing models all in black. I do hate doing that. I should have probably did the grips in a gray. I'm just realizing that now. So I might re-whiten them and do them differently, because now what I've created is like, it's just all black, and I'm not a huge fan of that color scheme. Now I may do the lighting effect on him. You don't have to. I mean, lighting effects are fun, and like for this, because Ghost Rider is such an iconic character and he is on fire, I mean, I probably will do it. Just because I think it would be cool. I kind of want to do something interesting for his let's make the base pop a little bit. Eh. Yeah, I should have like gotten some fire bits. Just using Griffin Charger Gray for the base, so I can make it look like, you know, a typical city sidewalk in New York. And you guys can see I did a little bit of some fire effects. Honestly, I took a break because I just wanted to get a little perspective on like where I want to go next with the color. Because I think for the wheels, I'm going to do them red. I'm going to do the inside of the wheels red to imply that they're like molten. It's like becoming molten metal in there. Yeah. It's always hard when you do painting like that on the base because you have to be careful of that color. So I'll have to come in with the smaller brush for that. Yeah, I'll come in with my smaller brush, and like I said, if I could find some fire bits, that would be really, really cool. Just to like bring that aspect into that. I have to do some other colors on these, but at least I'm getting it like based out. because I usually do those rails a different color, but I'm putting the Griffin Charger Gray tone on there. Just so I can have a little bit of a different idea. Yeah, alright, so we're losing viewership. You guys, I don't think you guys actually want to see me paint these models anymore. Marvel Crisis Protocol, I've noticed, has been the lowest. But then what's funny is I'll go back. Unless maybe a lot of people that are watching me, are you guys in different countries? I mean, I know I have like some like international viewers, which I'm wondering if you guys are the ones that are watching it after the fact. Which if you are, that's awesome. But it might be that like for you that time works better because it's like not at the end of the day. So it's an interesting concept. Alright. Put that there. I'm just trying to clean up as I go. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take the plunge, see what it looks like. Worst case scenario, I'll just go back over it in white. If it is horrid and terrible and not good. Yeah, the idea, my concept or my idea was to have like inside of the wheel to have some red. But then once the red dried, I would go in and like even on this, like I wouldn't have the whole wheel red. I would just have basically the areas that the fire is connecting to. Would be like the areas that like I would have the wheel have like a red accent. So it looks like there's like traction picking up and there's like heat coming from the wheel, and then I would like fade in some other colors. I don't know, I kind of like that. I kind of think it's cool to have like again, not the whole wheel, just no, don't go in there. So it gives that illusion of like fire wheels. Yeah, so it'll be like I mean, in the comic book, the way that they did it, they would draw him the way that I'm doing it now. But I wanted to do it so like you guys could see like that rev has like all the fire in it. And then I would like show a little bit of the tire in there. Let's just make that like gradation. Yeah, let's make that like an organic, nice shape. I don't know, I gotta play with it. Because I don't think the mechanics inside should be, like, I don't think that should be. Or maybe it is just the whole tire. I don't know. I'm going to start off with part of the tire and see what I think. I don't know. I'm trying something out. Let's see if it works. Let's test out the theory. Let's see how it works. I mean, it kind of makes more sense if it was red because, you know, you have fire erupting from the tire, so it's like it kind of should be red because it's like all coming. Oh, geez, but now I'm getting like messy. Okay. Well, I'm also like popping that in because I'm trying to like see what I think of that effect before I sort of commit to it. But I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I'm just trying to. And then the idea would be to have some of the actual tire in there so it looks like the tires are actually coming on fire because I don't know, I don't think it makes as much sense if the tires are not, some of the tire is not there, because in the comic book he has like real tires. Yeah. So the place that I did it, they sort of did it that way as well. And the idea would be I just want to do like a test. Of like what that would look like. I know I'm doing a horrible job. Yeah, all right. So this does not look terrific. It looks good in some areas, but not in others. I'm just gonna do the front wheel. I want to see like what the front wheel looks like, and then we can kind of gauge it from there. Yeah. So. Okay, so the one issue that I see with this method is just that if you're gonna do this, then it actually doesn't look horrible. What I have to do is I have to I'm gonna have to figure out, like, I think. No, actually, you know what? It doesn't look that bad. There's like definitely some like touch-ups I have to do with the fire and like different elements, but it doesn't look horrible. It's not like the worst thing I've ever painted. Yeah, there's. What's interesting is that they went with a smooth tire. I don't know why they didn't give it treads or like traction or something. Yeah, like here, I think it just needs to be, like, I think if I'm going to do that red, it has to be inside the rim. So like where I was a little messy and went a little bit over, I have to rectify that. I have to like fix that. But like it does look good. The color combination does actually look good. So if that silver was inside of there, I think it would look even better. So it definitely looks good. The idea is sound. Cool. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going back over and just like touching that up, because I think, going back to what I said, I think it will look better if the red is inside of the wheel rather than. So I'm just actually gonna just hike it back just a tiny bit, not too much, just so I'm controlling that that fire effect a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, so you'll see, like, I left it a little bit there. I didn't want to completely remove it, and then I just like hiked it there. But see, that looks perfect. Like, that's gonna look great, because see how I left the tire in there, so it'll come through. Yeah, like here, great example. We're just gonna paint back over that, because like I said, that's the secret. The secret is we want to show that tire in all of its nice glory. Because then you'll get the tire, and then you'll get like part of that, and it's gonna look so much better. But that looks good. That looks real good. So the red, definitely a success, definitely a hit in there. So yeah, that actually looks really cool. All right. So I think that's where we're gonna end it for today. I mean, like, we did a nice job on this. I love this. We got the pants all ready to go. There's definitely some more detail work that we have to do on this. I want to start getting some, and we're going to use white to help us accent the jacket, which I'm going to do on my next stream. Or what I might do, which I always say that I'm going to do, but I think you're going to see me start to do it a little bit more on this one. I'm going to do some of this work outside of the stream, so when we come back, you guys can get another look at this. But so far, extremely happy with this paint job. Extremely happy with what's going on. Yeah, it looks real cool, and I like, again, just going back to what I said, I always like to take what the model like kind of sample is, but like turn it on its head a little bit and have a little fun, because you never think about it when you're doing it, but the models that are out there, there's so much variation as artists that it is very easy to get stuck in what you're doing. But this that looks so cool. And it looks like it's in action, it's in motion. We have a lot of just great effects that are happening. Again, got to tidy it up, got to push it a little further, but extremely happy with the paint. And then again, if you guys want to come back to the beginning of the video, we had reviewed Gwen and Miles from the Spiderman and Gwen and Ghost Spider pack. I'll get them primed and we'll paint them up a little bit. But I am extremely happy with the way this is coming out. If you guys want to check out more painting, come back and see us tomorrow. I'll be back on doing some Age of Sigmar models as well as some Warhammer models. So please stay tuned for that. As always, I wanted to thank Undiscovered Realms, my sponsor for this video. They are awesome guys. Check the link below. Please support them. They're a local business. They'll ship anywhere in the United States. They have all of your gaming and geeky needs. Everything from Funko Pops to tabletop board games to Warhammer to Marvel Crisis Protocol to Star Wars Legion. They have all of the hottest games out there, and they will ship to you. Painting supplies, all that good stuff. So please give them the time of day. Give them your love and check them out. Please then also check out my website, my Patreon, and the tip/donation button. And like I said, if you guys if you follow already, please share this out to more people so more people can come and see us. And as always, if you can monetarily support, that monetary support does so much for us so that we can get more and more content out to you guys. I can upgrade my studio, my space, and everything that we do. So please don't hesitate. And if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, please do. Right now, it's just archiving my videos here, but I definitely will be adding some original content as we go. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at the next video. All right, take care, everybody. See you soon.